Are you feeling more autistic as you age? When I say feeling more autistic, I mean you may be experiencing or are experiencing a heightened intensity of autistic traits or challenges, including increased sensory sensitivity, increased social anxiety, and increased difficulty with communication or rigid thinking patterns, often due to your greater awareness of your own autistic needs and how they impact your daily life. Autism does not worsen with age, but the challenges associated with autism can become more apparent as life situations change. It is common to feel more autistic as we age, and in this video, I'm going to explain why. So, let's get started. Hey, define yourselfers. I am the Confident Autistic from theconfidentautistic.com. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you take a look around the channel and see all the great content I have and watch some other videos and even subscribe to the channel. I am an autistic adult, late diagnosed, a multi-certified life coach, and an advocate for autistic adults who is on a mission to empower you to embrace autism confidently. Now, if this resonates with you, please consider supporting my mission. You can show your support in many ways, including liking, sharing, and commenting on this video. But the best way to show your support is by subscribing to this channel. When you do subscribe, do not forget to ring the bell to be notified of new videos and when I go live. As we autistic adults age, we may feel more autistic than we have in the past due to a combination of factors, including increased life stressors, reduced coping mechanisms, less social support, changes in physical health, and the added complexity of navigating social situations that become more demanding as we mature, potentially leading to feelings of being more overwhelmed by our autistic traits. So let's break down all of this that I said and more. Adult life on the spectrum brings increased life complexities in the form of additional stressors like career demands, relationship challenges, and managing finances, which can exacerbate existing autistic sensitivities and difficulties with social interaction. Now, speaking for myself, I'm a middle aged autistic adult, and I notice things are changing my life and they're causing me uh, additional stresses, which are life stresses. Everyone goes through them, whether you're autistic or not. Not really much career demands because I've always worked for myself, been self-employed for most of my adult life because I am not only autistic, I'm visually impaired and I am physically disabled from an incomplete spinal cord injury. But career demands can be a part of it. But in my situation, the career demand has shifted some because my wife has always been the one that went out and worked in the traditional workforce. And she was sidelined about at the time of the taping of this almost 4 years ago when she was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. So she's on long-term disability and in early retirement. So I'm now becoming the breadwinner for our family. So that's been a change on me, and that does add stress because before I want to make money. I made some money, but it was not my primary responsibility. Mine was just extra money. Now it's money to help us survive on. So that does cause some stresses for me. Relationship challenges. Obviously, when somebody who you love very dearly, i.e., my wife, had been diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, that does change the relationship. It was before she took care of me. Even before we knew I had autism, she and I had this kind of thing going where she helped me with a lot of my autistic traits without either one of us realizing it. Now that we're aware that I'm on the spectrum, we both see how she's been a very big support for me. And she continues to do that. And she took care of a lot of my physical needs because of my physical limitations. And I really enjoyed that, to be honest. Okay, I did. Now she has physical challenges because of her cancer and the pain she's in. I'm now in charge of a lot more things, including setting up our medicine that we take, managing all of that, preparing meals for her, dealing with laundry, putting away the dishes, all those things, and many of them she used to do. So that's been a change in our relationship. And obviously, with the stroke, not with the stroke, her cancer, I'm the one that had the incomplete spinal cord injury, which was the stroke to my spinal cord. But with her cancer, our relationship has changed from her being my caregiver to me being more of her caregiver. And we're not doing some of the things we used to do. We love traveling. We don't do that much anymore because there's some days she feels has more energy than others. But as the cancer progresses, she's having more pain. That's changing our relationship. And that's been very, very hard on me with my autism because that's caused me more stress because we know we're on the cusp of chemo and all, and we've been very blessed that the medicine's been working for us so long, this far. But we've been told that when this medicine that we're currently on, or she's on, becomes no longer as effective, our next step is chemo, and we're both aware of that, and it not fun, and the uncertainty of what that's going to bring does aggravate me as an autistic person because we like routines, we like predictability, and this is really way out of my hands. And as we age, whether it be ourselves or our partners, our health is going to change. And that's going to add more stress to our lives. And I can tell you that from my own personal experience. And as I mentioned, managing finances. As you age and you get to retirement age, whether you get to early retirement or regular retirement, your finances are going to change. You're not going to have as much money coming in as you did. I'm experiencing that right now. And believe me, there's a lot of restless nights trying to figure out how I'm going to make all of this work. When we're used to a bigger budget and doing more things, now we got to scale back. And I hate doing that at times because I don't want to take stuff away from my wife that helps distract her from the cancer battle she's having. But yet I have the reality of making sure that um, that we both continue to survive in the ever changing economy that we're in right now here in the United States. Now, often from the things I mentioned earlier, often to make matters worse and increase our feelings of being more autistic, we may or will start to experience reduced support systems in our lives. Now, this first part is for those who were diagnosed with autism when they were younger and grew into adulthood. Then I'm going to be speaking more to those of us who are late diagnosed, suspected as autistic, or self-identify as autistic. But for some of us on the spectrum, as we age, we may actually more likely will, as we age, lose access to the support system we had as children. So, particularly if you were diagnosed with autism when you were a child, such as specialized educational programs, leaving us less equipped to manage challenges in adulthood. Now, for those of us who are late diagnosed, suspected autistic, or self identified as autistic, or even were identified as autistic as a child, this could also become a challenge for us because regardless of if we were diagnosed autistic as a child or later in life, as we age, we will lose our support system we have created on our own, including family and friendships, as loved ones pass away and friendships drift apart naturally over time, leaving us to live with less and less support as we age, which is the time in our lives that we need the support most. One of the harder things for me to accept in my life is the loss of connections with people. Obviously, for a lot of us on the spectrum, making friendships and maintaining friendships is a challenge, and that's something many of us are successful at. Some of us are, but some of us are not, and which is fine. Does not matter which camp you're in. But I've realized in my life when I was in college, I was around more people, and when I kind of moved away from college, I was around less people. And then when I moved from a community where I got to ride public buses, I love buses. I'm going to be doing a video on that soon. Uh, and to a community that does not have public transportation, I'm less around people. I've lived in this smaller community for 18 years now. And I can tell you that the number of friends I made in 18 years probably is on one hand. I don't have that many friends here. I'm pretty isolated here. And so that's less of a support system than when I lived in a bigger community and I had more people I could be around that kind of kept my spirits up and helped me through life. Or when I was in school and the support I got from special education teachers and the disability services department in college. These things have changed in my life and it's harder. And then, of course, family, I'm not that close to my family and they're not that close with me, which I'm okay with because family causes me anxiety. It's a long story. But family members have not only have we drifted apart, I don't talk to any of my family. I'm not talking to any of my family outside of my mom and my nephew and his wife for probably 7+ years. I ran into a cousin of mine. Uh, I want to say earlier this year, maybe last winter. Yeah, it was last winter, but Christmas time last winter. And we said hi to each other while we're passing. But mainly, I don't talk to my family, and they don't talk to me. We've had family members who passed away and all. And so that's dwindling. And the number of my friendships have dwindled. Now, some have been because I've not been the best of friend. I've alienated some people because of my autism, not realizing I was autistic at the time. And then friendships, some of them would naturally just end and fade away, and you don't know why. That just happens. And with these vacancies in my life causes me to feel a little empty and lonely. And now I don't have people to lean on for support, which has become very apparent to me when my wife was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. I discovered I really don't have that many people to talk to and to help support me through this battle. And so it's a challenge for me, but that's my own problem. I'll work through it on my own, I assume. But what I'm trying to make as a point here is that as we age, family members die, family dynamics may change, friendships may just, gradually drift away, which some of them do. Some will change over times, whatever. And then we lose less people in our lives and less resources, whether it be, an actual full support system like, counseling, whatever kind of a program, or more informal, like we have with friendships and our relatives, things will start to fade away when you really need them in your life. As we age, our physical health will change. In my case, mine changed a lot earlier in life after my incomplete spinal cord injury in my mid 30s. Now, the decline that we will experience as we age in our physical health can and will impact sensory processing and cognitive abilities, making it harder to cope with overstimulation or to adapt to unexpected changes. Let's say you're sensitive to pain. And now you have arthritis. Now you have pain constantly in your hip or your elbow or your knee or whatever. That's going to cause you some more sensory issues. So that's something that's going to be, if it hasn't already, it probably will come in your life. But yeah, I'm not trying to cheer you up here. I mean, I wish it was more positive, but the truth is, this is going to happen, and you need to be aware of it. And if you're experiencing it, you need to understand why you're feeling more autistic at times in your life. And it's just a natural part of the life cycle, simply put. Now, during our lifetime, social norms evolve and become more nuanced. For us on the spectrum, may find it increasingly difficult to navigate social situations without feeling overwhelmed. Yes, society has changed. I miss the 80s. I'm an 80s type of guy. I love the 80s. And I'm trying to keep up with the social norms and how they've evolved. We don't talk on the phone that much anymore. We text, we email, we maybe do FaceTime if you have a Apple or iPhone. I don't. I have an Android. Video conferences, whatever. We do a lot of, and some of this fun for me. But I try to keep up with all of that, and it changes and how we interact, How people in their 20s interact with others in their 20s is different than how I interacted with people when I was in my 20s. It's always evolving, and we're trying to keep up with all of that. And we can't. As we get older, we can't keep up with it, or we don't care anymore. Or it can be a little bit of both. So, yeah, the social norms evolve. It used to be rude to want to watch TV while you're eating dinner or at a restaurant. I remember this vividly. My brother and I, we loved TV when we were kids. And we went out to like a Burger King or something like that, fast food restaurant, right? And we made the comment, I wish this place had a TV. And my dad snapped us. There will never be a day where you go out to eat, there will be a TV everywhere that you eat at. Fast forward to 2024. Practically everywhere has TVs that you eat at. A lot of restaurants do. Uh, I've actually been in, not recently, but I have been in a McDonald's or a Burger King that had one little TV in the dining room that you could watch TV on. Culver's. I know it's not nationwide, but Culver's is great. If you ever get near Culver's, check it out. They got really good food there. And they're not paying me to say that. But in their lobbies, at least the ones I visited, have a TV on, often to the Weather Channel. So there's a TV everywhere. So now socially acceptable to do that. When we were kids, everyone gathered at the dinner table. Today, people just grab food like an all-you-can-eat buffet at the house and go to their rooms or sit in front of the TV in the living room and eat. Again, the TV has become a central part of our life. And another thing that's evolved, and then we're going to move on to this list, but I want to get it out there. TV has evolved. You've seen so many changes to it, and it's so evolving. There was an episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation. I think it was in the second or third season, where they ran across these people trapped in these capsules that were cryogenically frozen because that was a big thing in the 80s and all. And when they were near the verge of death and all, and the Enterprise crew rescued them and brought them out of their near death experience, and they were fine, they were cured, whatever, right? And one of them said, where's the TV? I want to catch up on TBS and see how the Braves are losing this year or something to that effect. And all the crew looked at each other like, TV? What's TV? And Lieutenant Commander Data said, TV, that was a form of entertainment that died out in the early 21st century. It's the early 21st century, and look at how much television has evolved. I mean, we're not watching the three big networks anymore. We're streaming. We're not even watching cable. We're cutting the cord. It's changing so much on a daily basis that it's different than it was before. And it's so hard for us to keep up with these social norms as they evolve because that's change. And we like predictability. Now it's changing. We don't know what's happening. And this can cause our autistic characteristics and traits to be more obvious to ourselves and to others. Now, it is a well known fact that most autistics experience at least one mental health issue, with many of us experiencing two or more mental health issues with our autism. The most common mental health issues that autistics live with are anxiety and depression, and they both can become more prevalent with age, which can further complicate managing autistic traits, which can lead us to feeling more autistic than we used to feel. So, as you age, be sure to remember that autism is a lifelong condition. While symptoms might seem more pronounced with age, autism itself does not worsen over time, nor does it get better over time. Autism is autism. It does not get better, it does not get worse. But our experiences that we have, our struggles, our challenges, our traits, at times would be more pronounced and prevalent in our life than other times. But even if they're not that prevalent and we're doing fine, we're not having that much sensory overload, we're still autistic. And when we're having a lot of sensory overload and reaction to it and it's driving us batty, we're not any more autistic than we were when our sensory overload was much more manageable. Autism stays at a baseline, and each person's baseline may be different, but it stays at a baseline in our life. But we're going to have ups and downs on when it's going to become more challenging for us. Now, since autism is a unique experience for all of us on the spectrum, Individual experiences may or will vary. Each person on the spectrum has unique challenges, and how you may perceive you are autistic and how you perceive you feel being more autistic than normal can and will differ from others in our community. And finally, when you're feeling more autistic leads to increased difficulties as you age, consulting with a healthcare professional or a therapist specialized in autism can provide valuable guidance and coping strategies. There's no shame in admitting you need help. There's none. We have this stigma in our society that we can do everything on our own. Strong people do it all by themselves. That's a bunch of malarkey. Every success you have in your life, you did not do it alone. Okay. I know there was a big debate about this, I don't know, about 10 years ago or so, maybe a little bit longer, that somebody had made the comment that no one creates success on their own and others are opposed to that. But it's true. Okay, let's say I'm a successful writer. Okay. Well, I did not do that on my own. There are a lot of teachers in school who taught me how to write, parents who taught me how to speak. Spoke. They did teach me how to speak. They were better than teaching me how to spoke. Anyway, but there's a lot of people who contributed to that, and probably people you did not even realize who helped you become the success you are today. So asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's your superpower. And smart people know when they need help and where to find it. Because smart people surround themselves with people who will help lift them up and help them through their challenges. And they work together as a team. Now it is your turn. Share with me your thoughts about feeling more autistic as you age. Because specifically, I love to hear these things. I primarily am focused in on working with adults who are on the spectrum who are self-identified as autistic, suspect they're autistic, or late diagnosed autistic that are more in the middle-aged years of their life, maybe from 40 to 60. But I don't care if you're younger, I don't care if you're older, it doesn't matter to me. But mainly the middle age is when we start transitioning and we have changes in our lives. And especially when we get above 60 and all, they're going to really come fast and furious for us, I bet. So it's a normal thing. So share with us your experiences. By sharing them, I get to know you better, and your experience may help somebody else realize it's okay for them to feel that way. So share your experience and your thoughts on this video, either by commenting on this video or joining the conversation in our Facebook group, Autistic Adults Embracing Autism. A link to that group is in this video's description. Now, I may not be able to respond to every single comment, but rest assured, I do read each and every one of them, and I really enjoy reading them, and I am thankful to each and every one of you who've said supportive words in your comments, including you enjoy the content I'm putting out. This video has made you feel better, and it's the perfect video for the perfect time in your life. I really appreciate hearing all of that, and I thank you so much for your comments. So until next time, this is Chris Mitchell, aka the Confident Autistic, reminding you that now is the time for you to embrace autism confidently. Join me live Thursday nights for the Confident Autistic Live, where I answer your questions, we discuss this week's videos, offer support, and more. The fun starts Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time in the US of A. Be sure to click the bell when you subscribe to the channel to be notified when the party begins.